All right, so welcome to day 2 of Day in the Life at AJ Classic Car Repair. And I don't have my apprentice with me today, so I'm doing the tripod. And today, well, I got here at like 12:30, and I got a job somewhere around like 3 in downtown LA. And I'm hoping, well, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, because honestly with this type of stuff, it's like on call type of thing. So right now I'm just gonna do as much as I can until then, and try to get anything that he hasn't done. So he was here early this morning around like 6 to 10, and then he had to leave early for like a graduation, and now I'm here fashionably late as usual, and I'm gonna try to do as much as I possibly can now. So since we don't have a lot of time, I feel like I should prioritize the little stuff that, if you've ever built a car, it's the little shit, the little details that makes up like most of the time. It's not really the big things, like I don't know if that makes sense. That it makes sense, but it's just the little stuff. So what I'm gonna do is, I just learned this new trick. So or it's not even a trick, but I just learned this new technique, and basically what we have going on right here is, see, I usually, when I wire up these boxes, I usually put the bare wire in of like how they explain it, which is like, I think, 1/4 of an inch of bare copper wire, so that it goes straight in perfectly. But I just found, and I'm gonna put a link to who I found this from, because he does insane wiring, and I feel like that would be the next level for me. So I'm gonna add these, they're called wire ferrules. There you go. These wire ferrules are pretty cool. I put them in the amps too. So I'm just gonna crimp it like that, give it a tug, and I'm gonna put it back in. And I'm just gonna go around for each one. So I'm gonna speed this up, and it's little shit like this that I'm trying to do just so that we can speed up the process. And I'm just gonna do the tedious work today until about maybe like 3. All right, so this is what I did. So I'm gonna leave these two off right here, because I need to make sure, I just wanna lay this out in the car, that's why. So those two are for the right and left turn signals. Figured I'd just show you, since it's already here. So basically what I was trying to explain was, there's left and right, and then there's also in here, there's like left and right in there as well. So I'm gonna utilize both, and then have the stock ones going off too. So I just want to make sure that, like, in the car, if I need to trim it at all, or like make it a certain way before I put a ferrule on this, because this is left and right, and it's got to go in the box. These got to go in the box too with it. So I just want to do it in the car to make sure that I don't mess up like the length, or if I can make it look cleaner. All right, so this is what we got, and this is what I did. So as you can see, we got the terminals right there hooked up. These are the remaining that are gonna go to the battery real quick. I gotta hook up to the battery. And then this is just, quick tape on that end to keep them in line and in the same order that I want them in. And then, grommet over there. And that's basically it. The power wires are kind of ready. Just need to clean them up a bit. There's some corrosion a little bit from the water that, from the rain that happened, and, the cover's not being on it. But these are for the halos right here. This little fusible link right here is a fused halo. And yeah, pretty much it right there. Just a little stuff. We gotta get a bracket for this alternator, so that the alternator, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show you right now. See how it's like, see how it's not aligned, and then it's causing the alternator to like push towards you. I don't know, it's so weird. So we're getting a new bracket. I already tried messing with it, and I think it's this bracket right here, because originally I thought it was this bracket, and I was over here trying to bend it and shape it in weird ways, but now I think it's that bracket that's causing it to do all that stupid shit. And I don't really feel like fabricating and it not working out how it's supposed to. I just don't want to deal with it. So we're getting a new one, and I think that's it for the front end. So besides hooking up the alternator, obviously the alternator wires, I think, and I'm pretty sure I can say this positively, besides the besides the spark plug wires, I think this is almost ready. And like the this hose, and I think it's ready after that. I'm pretty sure. Oh, sorry, it's not grounding. So we're gonna do a battery frame, battery body, and then, you know, battery to engine block. So I'm gonna have those. We also have one over here, but you know, that's all we got for that, and that's the original one that I just kind of like upgraded. So, but now I think that's everything with this one. Now to move on to here, which I don't think I'm gonna dive into today because it's a lot of work. Basically, not a lot of work, but I gotta cut out the same template for the back of this bulkhead, you know, fuse box side, whatever it's called. So this is gonna go right here, right? And the reason why I'm doing that is because if you can tell, see where that little incision is, where like the bolt was like, you know, I don't know why I thought the bolt was gonna go in at an angle, because you see how it's curved. Like, let me back this up a little bit. But you see how it's curved right here, and it curves all the way up. Basically what I'm doing is personally I'd rather have this welded, but man, no offense to the dude that I got this from, but the homie's just lazy as hell. Like, he made me this shit, and this shit was half-assed, bro. Maybe not half-assed, but like, you know, the whole thing of a service is I don't want to call you back, man. Just mount it, do it yourself, you know. So instead, homie charged me 300 bucks for this, that fucking radio thing, and then what was it? Oh, this fucking 4-switch panel right here. That thing works great, solid. But I think that's kind of what he's good for, because originally what I wanted him to do was come in here, weld this plate on, cut this thing out, and then, you know, mount the fucking box on there so that, you know, I didn't have to. I'm not a fabricator, you know what I mean? That's not my world yet. I would like to, so I don't have to call people to do this shit, and I can do it right. But so yeah, hopefully you see the vision and what I'm saying. This is gonna go on the side of it, but that's what I wanted, is I wanted it to be welded and permanent, and then, you know, it be like, instead of having to do machine fucking sheet metal screws, you know what I mean? Because I gotta put one screw in for the box. Like, it's hard to explain, honestly. It's hard to explain, but basically the way that it's going to be tacked on there is with sheet metal screws instead of welded on there. That's not what I wanted, you know what I mean? I got the box out, we can lay down some carpet and shit, and I wanted it that way, but homie just don't got time and probably just don't want to do it. He just seems like he's got too much on his plate. So yeah, kind of fucking annoying. So I gotta find a welder. If any of you guys weld and are actually, you know, willing to do some consistent work, hit me up. Fuck. So that's the issue that we got going on. I don't want to dive into that. That seems like it's going to be too much work right now for, you know, the time that we have. But what I do want to do is, instead of that, I think I'm going to clean up the rest of over here, which he hasn't done yet. All right, so what we got going on is everything's taped, lined up in order of how it should be. The apprentice broke the goddamn, I don't even know how he did that, to be honest with you, but he just broke the stud for here, and we had to get another one. And then so I basically got to transfer these over to the new one over there, right? And then I think what I got to do now is just clean up what he didn't finish today, which is taping this wire, and as you can see where the wire goes, you know, just making it look a little bit nicer. And then he was able to get these 3 clamps up there like that to hold it in place, and then I'm just gonna, you know, tape it, run in the clamp, and then, you know, call it a day. I think that's all I think that's the only thing I can do with the time we have left. So, and then from there, everything should be done. And then check that out, see, so that's, you know, grounded properly and should be good for the most part. So that's the ground for the amps, and that's it, man. Like, honestly, after I get, you know, that hooked up, we can throw in the carpets, throw in the rest of the stuff, and Like, we only got so much left to do, and I'll put up the list of what I have, and then, you know, we'll move on to the new car that we got going on. And I gotta pack up pretty soon, so I might pack up right now actually, or I might just do that, see what time it is. So let's get to it. All right, so I wasn't really able to do like much more than what we talked about. I just cleaned up, like loomed the spots that I thought were gonna chafe basically, and that was pretty much it. That was all I could really do in like the hour and a half that I had from it was like 1 to 3, like 2 hours almost. So I just did whatever I could, cleaned up a little bit, packed my stuff, and now we're on the way to downtown LA to work on a 74 Pontiac. And client's complaint is basically that it is running pretty rich and that it is, once it gets hot, warmed up, it starts to stumble. So I'm gonna go over there. I got literally everything I can think of to try to diagnose it. I'm really hoping I didn't forget anything. That's kind of the other issue while doing this, is just you forget hella shit, to be honest with you. Because you just gotta think of every possible outcome, and the taking everything out, putting everything back in, it's like, unless you're super organized and have good memory, like fuck, it gets messy, I won't lie. So we got the I'm gonna try to eat this. I got the meal prep going. We're bulking season, and shit, man, after that I think I'm gonna go home. All right, so instantly right off the bat, we got a 74 or 75 Pontiac Granville. And personally, I haven't worked on many Pontiacs, but here we are today. So basically, so from what he just told me and what we just talked about and him starting it, we got a timing issue for sure. It's running super rich within the first, like, I don't know, I kid you not, like the first 10 seconds of this thing just running. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up right now just to see if it does the hesitation. But oh man, that's a big boat. So right there it didn't, but and it seems like the acceleration is pretty on point. I think it's just too far advanced for the most part from when I first heard it. But other than that, I mean, shit, she is a boat. And I mean, it starts right up. So I guess let's just get into it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know where you open this. Oh God. Oh God. All right, Jesus Christ, like a year later, this thing is finally open. All right, so I'm gonna bring you guys in, show you guys what I got going on. All right, a little dark, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a lot of life left in my in my thing, I don't have a lot of life left. Jeez, bro, I can't even talk. I don't have a lot of life left in my light. So instantly I'm just gonna start pulling this off. Let's try not to mess this up, because these are kind of annoying. I should have another one attached. Yep. Oh, you bitch. Hit the floor though, hit the floor. Jeez, man, this thing is a boat. Like, you gotta be like at least 6 foot, like 5, bro, to fucking work in this thing. Damn, man. What is that, like oil? Oh my God, what is that leaking, bro? The oil? Jesus Christ, better get a rag. Here, and what did I just say? Trying to mess this up. All right. So where are we at? Where are we at on the vacuum hoses? Oh, perfect, quadrijet. All right, so just to kind of bring you in real quick. Boom, vacuum gauge is hooked up. We broke the cap, and I don't think I brought caps, and I should have. Already off the bat, we've got way too much vacuum. All right, so man, talk about really shitty luck. So I mean, you can't see from that far, but my gauge is stuck at like 10 inches of mercury, right? Or whatever it's supposed to be. So actually stuck at 30. Now, I could take a guess that is 0, right? And then just do like the adding and subtracting of, you know, it's at 30, when it hits 70, it's really at, you know what I mean? I could do all that, but I really don't want to, especially because it's not my rig, you know? So what I'm gonna do now is kind of improvise, because it's like 5 p.m. and you should see the map of just, it's gonna take me like an hour to get to a fucking Harbor Freight to get a vacuum gauge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna improvise. So the way that you're supposed to do it, I just wanted to figure out ported vacuum to at least set the carburetor. Let me explain, actually. So originally you're supposed to go timing, right, first, then you're supposed to do carburetor after that, right? So you basically want to get your RPMs to your set desire with your timing and not your idle screw. So what I was trying to do is square it off to where, like on ported, if you get ported manifold vacuum with your gauge, on the gauge it should read 0. Now we'll go through it, but you know, just to give you an idea, that's what I was supposed to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mess with the timing first, instead of trying to mess with the carburetor, do it in reverse, you know. But I'm gonna do it how it's supposed to be now, and I'm just gonna mess with the timing, and then hopefully when I'm done messing with the timing and I got it dialed in, I can move on to carburetor, and it won't be like an hour to make it to a Harbor Freight to get another vacuum gauge. So that's the plan. I hope it works out, and hopefully we can get this done by today. I'm really trying to get this done by today. All right, so kind of an L type of day today. So what I'm gonna do is get a new vacuum gauge. I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow. He said he's got something to do around 7, so he prefers, you know, come back tomorrow. So I think I evaluated enough as I could today, so I think we're just gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna bring vacuum caps, come a little bit more prepared, bring a better vacuum gauge that actually works, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I figured out his total timing. His total timing is at like 5,700 RPMs. Or 57 total at about like 3,200 RPM. So I think it's a little too much for this motor. I think it's way too advanced. And yeah, so I'm gonna put everything back together, and then I'm gonna come back tomorrow, maybe in the morning. Well, I guess we'll be back tomorrow. Tired as hell. And shit, I gotta see what time we can come back tomorrow. He's apparently leaving for a flight on tomorrow at like 2. So he wants it to be hopefully in the morning. And I don't know, I guess we gotta see. We gotta see what's good with the apprentice and see if he's on board with doing it. But yep, that's everything today. I'm gonna come back more prepared, and I guess we gotta drive home now, so.